How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another FPL live stream. It's good to be back in the FPL game week. Friday, quick turnaround from the end of last week, which seemed to be so drawn out, and especially with all the nonsense with the Super League and that sort of stuff. Don't want to talk about it anymore. All I have to say on that is, with those owners,
it's time to go!
Get them out. If you want to check out my opinion on that, I put a video on my channel. It's actually the pinned video on my channel as well as on Twitter. So if you want to check that out, we're not going to talk about it anymore, apart from the fact that I'll just be tweeting every time I tweet something. I have Glazers out in it, basically. Yeah, we'll be taking a look at who to captain this week, because there are a couple interesting choices, some on the same team. We'll be taking a look at the goals imminent table. I've already made one transfer, and I think I'm going to stop at that, because last week I went a bit too happy. But I think it's the right move overall. And the captaincy, I need you guys' help. I don't know who to captain this week. I may have a United bias, and I may think that Bruno is going to be doing well for me, but he hasn't done well in the past few weeks, and he may be on the chopping block to sell, even though I got him recently. So yeah, and then yeah, we'll get your questions in the chat as per normal. And when this VOD does go up on YouTube, if you do watch this over on YouTube, make sure to come check us out on Twitch and give us a follow over here as well. But without further ado, let's get into it. Righty, hello Zaka, how's it going? Randy Shaft 2.0 when it comes to Super League. Yeah, basically. Basically. I literally put this sound clip right here.
It's time to go!
Just so I can do the like the talk about the Super League, literally, because it's the best thing ever. I mean, rest in peace, Claude from AFTV. Obviously passed away not too long ago. But it's gonna stay on my soundboard for forever, basically. So yeah. Could you take a look at my team? Patricio in goal. I like the goalkeeper, looking good. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Cody, and Shaw. Well, those are 2 out of my 3 defenders, so I approve of those. Fofana, I like Fofana as well. Again, Fofana is probably only going to play like the 60 minutes because he is doing, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think, is it Ramadan? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but basically it's where it's I believe it's one of the religions from the eastern side of the world, where basically you fast until from sun up to sundown, something like that. So when you don't eat anything and you have to go play football, it's a bit difficult sometimes. But yeah, I like Fofana, but he may get taken off pre-60 minutes if he's not feeling it, so we'll see. But I think he should be okay. He's got a week off before his next game. Bruno, captain, I think that's fine. Jota, Lingard, and Saka, especially since you don't have Salah to choose from either. Watkins and Iheanacho with the bench of Holding, Lloris, Kane, and Son. Who does Holding has Everton this week? No, I think that's the best possible 11. I think it's the best possible 11 you can get based on your team. I don't think you need to make any transfers. I think it's fine. Was the minus 20 worth it? I think I worked it out. It was like I was 2 points in the hole. 1 or 2 points in the hole with the usage of the triple captaincy. Without the triple captaincy, I think it was like 10 points or so, 12 points, something like that. But yeah, I think it's worth it because now I have Lingard in my team for the run-in. I have Salah in my team for this game week. You know, I have Iheanacho who got a goal. Vardy's back in the team. I had to get rid of him initially to get in Salah because I wanted Kane. But now Kane, you know, doesn't have a game this week, and it doesn't look like he could potentially play in the Cup. So I brought Vardy back in. If Kane goes down by 0.1, I can do that move back in 1. But with Vardy's fixtures, might want to keep him. And also, we have news that there could be a double game week. So basically these 2 fixtures here, the Man United and Newcastle fixtures, will be smushed into game week 35 for Leicester. I believe the other teams that are going to be guaranteed a double in 35 is Everton, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, and Southampton, most likely. But we need to keep our eyes peeled for that. If we can get that news before 34, that'd be great as well. because I can see if I can save a transfer going into 35 and, you know, that sort of stuff. No worries, Mono. Really nice FPL teams. I like my team. I like my team a lot for this week. Obviously, you know, is there a chance that, you know, Jota doesn't play and Masuaku doesn't play and I'm going in with 10? Yeah, sure. But, you know, 10's not the worst. But yeah. Benjamin Mendy and goal. I saw this as well. It was like a verified journalist. A verified journalist on Twitter said that Tuchel, the Chelsea manager, said that Benjamin Mendy, the Man City player, is in goal. We'll be back in goal this week. It was Ben Dinnery. Oh, so it was even worse. Yeah, he's like pretty well known too. Yeah, it's so funny. I don't know what Mendy's first name even is. To be honest, let's see. Mendy. Can't remember for sure. Edouard Mendy. That's right. How could we forget? Yeah, Edouard. Yes. Yeah, I thought that was quite funny. I thought that was very funny. But hey, maybe who knows? Benjamin Mendy might be starting to go for Chelsea. Don't know. In defense, Aspilicueta, Fofana, Saiss, and Konsa. I like that midfield, or that defense. Midfield, Saka, Bruno, Madison, captain. Interesting. Or unless that captaincy on Salah. Maybe it's on Salah. Could be on Madison, looks like it. Watkins and Vardy. Why should Jota not play? Well, there were speculations he wasn't pictured in training. And Klopp's answer to is Jota okay? He went like this. He was like, because they didn't see pictures in training, he was like, oh, Thursday? He was like thinking about the days of training. Almost like he was counting to be like, maybe we gave him a rest a couple of days so he should be back or something. And he was like, no, Jota is fine. Jota's fine. So Jota might start on the bench. Is what it is. If he does, he's probably going to come on. If he doesn't play, well, that sucks. Hey, Jagster, how's it going? I feel like it's been a while since you've been on the stream. But yeah, glad that you're back. Reasons for Bruno captain. Well, we'll actually take a look at the table just now. So I have my who to captain table here. So this is basically the four, in my opinion, the four best captains. I didn't get to do a video this week because of a little Super League nonsense, and nobody probably would have watched the video anyway because everyone's probably refreshing Twitter. So this is the last four matches, and I've done four matches because it's a point where basically Bruno's kind of tailed off in a big way. And Iheanacho and Vardy have been quite good. And it also shows that Salah hasn't been as good as what we would have liked, you know, in terms of his output. But his shots are what we're kind of looking at. So in terms of expected goal involvement, which is what the table's been organized by, Iheanacho's top. 6 big chances total, 6 goals, 12 shots inside the box, which is second on this table. And he's created 2 big chances too. Whereas Vardy, he's not getting as many shots inside the box. He is getting similar number of big chances, but he just wasn't putting them away. Bruno Fernandes, he's got 3 big chances total, 10 chances created, which is the most out of these 4. But he has no goals. He was quite close from pretty much point-blank range in the previous game. And United haven't got a penalty in a while. So that's why he hasn't scored, probably. Salah, so he's got 4 big chances total, which is, you know, third on this table out of 4. But the thing is, he's got 13 shots inside the box, which is where you want Salah to be shooting. I think with Jota in the team, when they play in a front 4, I think Jota and Salah link up very well together, and they kind of leave Mane out on his own, and Firmino kind of does what he does. When they're playing in the front 3, it seems like they're just kind of solely relying on Salah. So if you are a Salah owner without Jota, you're basically looking for Mane, Firmino, and Salah to start up in the front 3, because then Salah just scores. That's kind of how it's been. Basically, he's the only one that's really been scoring when it's that front 3. If it's Jota, Firmino, and Salah, basically it's just Firmino supplying those 2. When it's Mane, Firmino, and Jota, that just doesn't work. Clearly. But yeah, it is quite interesting. I've been leaning towards Bruno, but it may be a little bit of bias. And I kind of think, you know, he's gotten like in his last where's his stats over the last few, or his scores. So look, he's got 3, 3, 10. Okay, so he's got a 10, 3, 5, 2, 2. So I'm thinking he's going to have like a penalty and maybe an assist or two in a game. And it could potentially be against Leeds, who they're going to play their best, obviously. But United, if they win against Leeds on, I believe it's Sunday that they play. Yeah. They win against Leeds, it's like pretty much guaranteed top 4. I think they only need to win 2 more games or something like that. 2 or 3 more games, and then they're guaranteed top 4 regardless, and then they'll be looking to obviously cement 2nd place. Hey man, love the good analysis. Who would you bench out of Rudiger, Lingard, or Diogo Jota? I would bench the defender. If it's me personally. If it comes down to I have the ability to bench a defender versus an attacker, I typically will side with the attacker. Very rare cases. So if it's like, let's say if it was, let's say Vidra versus Wolves away, or Veltman versus Sheffield United at home, I'd probably play Veltman in that one just because it's like a pretty good chance of a clean sheet there. Whereas Vidra Wolves would be a bit trickier. So if it's like a kind of a bad fixture for like a not as good of a player that you wouldn't necessarily play every week versus a defender that like is like nailed on for a clean sheet or something, then yeah, I would go for the attackers in this case, because West Ham could easily score. Also, I wouldn't bench Jota over those 2. I would bench Rudiger in this case, because you don't want Lingard going up against Rudiger, although they could both easily score against each other. But I would keep Jota in. Klopp says Jota's fine. We have to kind of go off his word. Whether he starts or not, it's a different story. But Liverpool need to win, so I think their best lineup has all 4 of their Fab 3, as it were, plus Jota in it. So we will see. Doing a -20 this week. You're taking inspiration from me. Good. Let's see how it works out. So Rudiger out, Davis out. I assume that's the striker, the forward. KDB, Bruno, and Podence. Okay. For Nat Phillips, I assume you're just going to put him on the bench and play him if he's fit. If he's not fit, then whatever. Because Nat Phillips is out this week, I believe. Greenwood, I like the pick. Salah, good. Watkins, good. Madison, good. I like them all. I like them all. Mind you, that's only 5 transfers, so that's not a -20, that'd be a -16. Unless you use your free transfer already on somebody else. Which would be, then it would be a -20. But yeah, going back on the captaincy situation, yeah, basically, I don't know, I just feel like Meslier to Forster as well. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I like that transfer too. I thought the Mendy Forster, like I put it in some of my draft videos for wildcards. Me personally, I would have always done the 0.5 extra, because I know that Forster has a potential to not be in, just get dropped basically. Mendy as well, but I would have gone for the likes of Sanchez as an example, just because of the fact that he's nailed on. In a couple of weeks, or in like next week, Chelsea plays City, and Brighton have an easier fixture, I believe. So yeah, who do Brighton have next week? Yeah, Brighton have Leeds, whereas Chelsea have Fulham. What was the fixture that I was thinking of? Where's Brighton? Oh, Wolves, yeah. So Brighton have Wolves, which should be straightforward, whereas Chelsea have Man City. That was probably the one I was thinking of. Just needed to free up some money, and Forster can play. I mean, yeah, Forster can play from time to time, but I personally may have kept Meslier. He's been pretty good, to be honest. But if you need the funds, then yeah, that is an area to swap it around, I guess. Like me, I've had since since my wildcard, basically, I've had Areola there, 4.5 million goalkeeper. I've played him once, and it wasn't even worth playing him over Martinez. So, here's what it is. This week I don't have a choice because I have one goalkeeper who's not playing in Areola, and I have one goalkeeper who is playing, and he's playing West Brom. So I'm gonna play him. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the chat. Iheanacho, Vardy, Bruno Fernandes, Salah. If you had all four of them, who would you captain? Let me know because I need some help on that one. Because the stats show that Salah's in terms of expected goal involvement, the worst out of all four of them, with Iheanacho being the top. Iheanacho and Vardy both play Crystal Palace, who are pretty bad defensively, and they both, got returns. Salah and Fernandes, they have good fixtures on paper. Liverpool obviously only getting a draw versus Leeds is a bit concerning. Because Leeds have been tightening up defensively, and can United do better versus that? I mean, last time they won, what was it, 6-2? So it's going to be a bit interesting. Probably nachos. I would like some nachos right now. But yeah, Captain Iheanacho could be good. I don't know. Leicester also do play on the last game of the week as well, so you'd be going into it with, or I'd be going into it with a double up plus the captain as well, which would be quite nice. But if if the likes of Salah and Fernandes do well, then I'm just going to be, losing rank. If I yawn or seem a little bit tired, it's probably the second vaccine shot I had yesterday. Arm's a little sore, but nothing really to worry about. Back's probably more sore than anything because I had to lift a whole bunch of stuff yesterday. They play on Monday, so it doesn't ruin your week if he blanks. I mean, you can see that too. But it also could be like, is he going to be the savior, basically, going into that week, Janks has put his team in. Vidra, Nacho, Vardy. Oh, gone a little bit of reverse order here. Lingard, Salah, Bruno, Jota, Rudiger, Cody, Holding, and Mendy. I think the team's fine. I don't know who's on your bench, but I think it's fine. You have the ability to captain basically the same players I do. And yeah, Jankster, who you looking to captain this week, or who do you have the armband on currently? Because I'd be interested. Kufal, Son, Mitchell on the bench, or Sufal. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, Mitchell probably won't play, but if he does play, he maybe gets a point. Sufal, same thing. Maybe he gets a point versus Chelsea. But at least you have the setup covered to where you're going to be able to field 11 players this week. You should probably captain Son. Well, you could do something cheeky if you like. I would never do this because of it being skeptical about like somebody being benched or something randomly. Oh, Phillips. Okay, well, he's injured, so he's not going to play. But like, if I captain Son, put him in my team, and then vice captain the player I actually wanted to captain, and they didn't start or whatever, like it's all well and good. You can be like, oh yeah, Salah's going to start this week. I'll captain Son, vice captain Salah, so I can be cheeky or whatever. What if he doesn't? that would be my thing, because there's always I'm 99.9% sure that Bruno's going to start every game versus for United. But there's that 0.1% that thinks, what if he doesn't though? Captain Son, Vice Captain Aina. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that, Zaka. I'm not going to do that. That's not smart. I need to gain points, not lose them. Do you think it's a good idea to get rid of Kane or keep him? Well, I got rid of Kane this week because I like what I saw from Vardy. This one game a week now seems to be better for him. Yeah, they have the FA Cup final, but that's a few weeks down the road. And they have a good run of fixtures. I got rid of him to initially keep Kane because of Kane's fixture. And and you know, Kane at the double game week, obviously, and the only way I was able to get in Salah, who I wanted, was to get rid of Vardy. But now the Kane's potentially not even going to make the final. Could be, you know, could be very bad. If there, you know, he didn't train apparently today again, so they play on Sunday. So if they're not going to have a training session, or if anything, it's going to be light on Saturday, I'd be a bit worried. I mean, Aina can really hold this week. Playing no one means 11 versus 0. He can probably win like 100-0.
It's time to go!
Oh, man. If only it was that easy. If only it was that easy. You could also say that Kane, he's not playing in the Carabao Cup final, so that means he's going to be back at the training facilities doing rehab, which means he's just going to be up against some gym equipment. So he should be, that should be even easier. He should be fine. He should be able to score even more than 100, you know? If we're going down that logic. Any Everton defender for 5 million that's 100% nailed? Everton defenders. I'm not sure 100% nailed. I would say Holgate is a good shout at 4.8. But again, there's no Everton defender that's really 100% nailed. I mean, Holgate's, when he's fit, seems to play a lot of games. I mean, he's got 90, 90, 72, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. Like, he plays a lot of games, whereas Keane has missed out the odd game, the odd random benching. But he seems to be, you know, back in the team. But he's 5'1". Godfrey, he seems to be favored a bit. I would say probably for the cheapest out of all this, I would say Hulk. In terms of nailed onness, I would say Keane, then Holgate, then Godfrey. But I would say Holgate is like the best to get of the three, just because he's slightly cheaper. But for set piece threat, if you have the extra 0.1, I mean, Keane is by and far the best. Because he just seems to get his head on things, to be honest. And he racks up some bonus points too, even when they're not keeping a clean sheet. Coleman probably. Coleman. The thing is Coleman gonna play every game? That's the thing. There's times where he started on the bench when he's been fit, so it's weird. How's it going, Zodiac? We'll likely go for Fana instead of an Everton defender. Yep, that's possible too. Also, the fact that Fofana's getting hooked at around like just past the 60-minute mark, because of his, you know, the fasting that he's doing. That's great, because if Liverpool don't concede in the first 60 minutes, he's fine. You just don't want to get him hooked off before then. Because I owned Digne and that was painful. Yeah, I mean, you know, owning Digne isn't, you know, wasn't, it always seemed to be good. It always seemed to be good. The problem is they just didn't keep clean sheets. You know, it's not not ideal. But yeah, I mean, is what it is, honestly. If they're gonna keep a clean sheet, they'll keep a clean sheet. Everton have been better away from home. But apart from that, you're looking at an open play goal or set piece goal, which isn't, you know, coming by as much as we would like for their price tag. And I think Leicester probably have a better chance. Like Everton's double in 35-36 would be like, I think it's West Ham and Villa, I think. Whereas like Leicester's would be Newcastle and Man United. So there's a bit of an argument to be had there. Would you replace Gundogan with Saka, Greenwood, Mount, or another? I'd do Greenwood, to be honest. Great differential. Is probably going to play. Mind you, I don't think Greenwood... Did Greenwood play the last time he played Leeds? I'm not sure. Let me check. Greenwood. Yeah, Greenwood didn't play the last time he played against Leeds. But he's in such good form, I think he should play. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dan James plays instead of him for the work rate and that sort of stuff. So with Greenwood, it is still a bit of a risk. Would I trade out Gundogan for somebody? I think Gundogan has to play in the Premier League. But again, it's Pep Roulette. So if you're looking for somebody who's definitely nailed on, like Saka and Mount are probably better. But I don't know. It is hard. Would be horrible if he got subbed at 59 minutes. Yeah, but I think Brendan Rodgers isn't that... Brendan Rodgers would do that with his attackers sometimes. You know, like Albrighton. You know, these sorts of players. He'll take them off at 50 minutes. He'll take them off at halftime. He will definitely do that sometimes. But, yeah, it should be interesting to see. But I think Brendan Rodgers knows, like, what his team is now. I think he knows the system he wants to play. He plays a back three. He's got Castagne one side. He's got Ricardo the other side, you know, when he's not playing 3 games a week. He's got Tielemans and Ndidi, arguably the best double pivot in the whole entire league. He's got Maddison just in front of him. And then he's got Iheanacho and Vardy when Barnes is out. And even I think that he could probably get away with playing... if he wanted to shift that to a front 3, or even like use Barnes as like a wing back, because he uses Albrighton as a wing back. So, yeah. Best 5 million defender. So in terms of 5 million, well, if we look at, I'm just going to take a quick look on the side here. So if I go to defenders, I'm going to go for 5 million or less. For the remainder of the season, I think right now, probably Cody, to be honest. Cody's 4.9, has basically 3 solid fixtures. Everton at Goodison Park is a favorable fixture for them. Spurs and United will be difficult, but I think that's probably the best you're probably going to get. Maybe Target as well, but their fixtures aren't that great, but he could have a double coming. And then maybe Holgate, I would say. Because Holgate will have a double. Their fixtures are looking quite good. I mean, this season, Everton haven't even played Aston Villa yet, which is weird. So they could literally have a double of West Ham and Aston Villa, followed up by Sheffield United and Wolves. So this run looks pretty good for Everton. Which is why I want to, if I can, save a transfer for Gameweek 34, so I can go into 35 to potentially see, you know, how Everton shape up, how Leicester shape up, these sorts of things. So if I need to make some changes around or whatever, then we can, I can do that. Especially around, you know, some of these teams might have halfway decent doubles. Double Wolves defense is tempting. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I just think that, you know, double defense on something is always a bit nervy. But I think Wolves, they look to be getting back to their best in terms of defensively, especially with the back 3. You know, you have Bali, you have Cody, you have Seiss. Been rock solid. It's just the wing backs that kind of concern me. You know, letting people get past them, getting caught high up the pitch, and then you kind of rely on the, you know, the midfield and the defense to kind of mop up there. If I was going to go a double defense for Wolves, it would be Cody and Patricio, because I know they're going to play every game. I wouldn't bother with Seiss. I wouldn't bother with Bali. I wouldn't bother with Semedo. I wouldn't bother with Ait Nuri. I wouldn't bother with any of them. I would just go Cody and Patricio. Keep it simple. Clean sheets. You know, potentially some save points. Cody gets bonus points when they do keep a clean sheet and a low score, typically. So yeah. Dyer for the next game week? Nah, I don't think Dyer's that good. I mean, Sheffield United at home, yeah, sure. But if you're going to go Dyer, you might as well go one step up and just go to Regulon if you want. But I don't see it there. I think Spurs' defense is, you know, with the new coach as well, is he really going to be able to get them, you know, defensively sound? Who knows? Leicester will have a double and Wolves won't, but Leicester blank, much to think about. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. So Leicester will have a double and then we'll blank afterwards, because basically their 36 fixture will be moved up. The thing is, with that as well, is that if you have your free hit, then it's okay. So, like me as an example, I still have my free hit. So, I can basically pick and choose, is the blank going to be in the 35 or the 36? Whichever one it is, I can use the free hit for that and kind of adjust and shift my transfers wherever I need it to go. That's why I want to know the news before the Game Week 34 deadline for where these doubles are going to be, because if I save a transfer going into 35 and it's a blank and I use my free hit, then I waste a transfer, you know. So we'll see. But what I might do is just, but I still want to see what the doubles are. So it is a bit tricky. I wish I could get it. Hopefully we get the news before the 34 deadline, which we should do. You know, if we look at the fixtures, the Game Week 34 fixtures is on the 30th of April, like, you know, the start of the week. Like, they literally start the rest of the games start in May, so we should get it before that deadline, because the like, you can't announce the fixtures a week, like when they're gonna be, like, if the doubles are gonna be moved up and stuff a week before they're supposed to play them. You go to the managers, be like, oh yeah, so yeah, you're playing on Saturday. Let's use a team as an example. Where's Leicester? Oh, Leicester, yeah, you're playing on Friday versus Newcastle. It's a 8 p.m. UK time kickoff. Oh, also, by the way, you're playing Tuesday. It's like, what? You gotta tell us before that. And it's Man United, by the way, so you gotta have to prepare for that. It's like, they gotta tell them a little bit before that. So I think they'll do it here. If this was like, you know, if this game week was starting this week, then I'd be like, okay, you know, it might be a bit sketchy in terms of when they could release, because they can always release it the following week. They typically do it like 7 to 10 days before the month ends, so I wouldn't be surprised if after this deadline they announce it. Wish I could afford Keane. Yeah, I think Keane looks great from set pieces. It's just the clean sheet factor with Everton is so hit or miss. With the above team, I have one unused free transfer this game week and a bench boost left. Wouldn't be the ideal game week to use the chip. Let me scroll back up and see the team. So, Vidra, Iheanacho, Vardy, Jesse Lingard, Salah, Bruno, Jota, Rudiger, Cody, Holding, and Mendy. And you had Sufal, Son, and Phillips on the bench. I don't know who your second goalkeeper is, but I would assume it's like Forster or somebody like that. But if it is a playing goalkeeper, I think the best possible time, because Chelsea could have a double as well, I would say wait for the doubles, because 35 could be good, and you could be like, oh, I could play Mendy in a double versus two very bad teams, or I could play this, you know, Forster who has a double as well. So then you could play them both. So yeah, Forster. I would say wait until the doubles, probably. I think set up for 35 doubles and bench boost. The only thing is that after the fact, you're gonna have a situation where if it's 35 doubles, blanks, and 36, then you're gonna have maybe a bit of an issue. So I would say if you can use your transfers to bring in players who have a you know, double before but a fixture afterwards, like Villa, like Everton are supposed to, like Crystal Palace, like Southampton, then you should be alright. 7 Roshin, thank you for following. Much appreciated. But yeah, the bench boost is going to be a bit tricky. It all comes down to what the fixtures look like they're going to be for 35 and 36. Because if they're really going to do this thing where they, you know, change some things around so that, you know, fans can get back in the ground, which they should go back in the ground, because trust me, if you're in the UK at the moment and you have the ability to go have a little evening walk past the Emirates tonight, there's a potential that there might be a lot more people than you expect there. Same for Old Trafford on Sunday. Potentially even a lot more people at United play what? Liverpool at home? Yeah, in Game Week 34. Might be a lot of people there. Zaha in Game Week 35. Yep, exactly. A double and then a you know, a game afterwards. So Zaha is currently 7.1. He would play against, let's say, Sheffield United and Southampton, and then we'll play Aston Villa afterwards. So those would be the 3 fixtures, and it's perfect because then you can hold on to him for potentially the rest of the season. You know, typically does good against Arsenal, maybe does good against Liverpool. 7.1 million in the similar price, same price as Greenwood, but he's nailed on. Maybe a Son replacement potentially. You know, Son has equally as good fixtures, but you can always downgrade to Zaha and then use the funds elsewhere. If you have a little bit extra and you're feeling, you know, Jota's not really doing it for you, then you can always upgrade Jota to Zaha's only 0.2 more, just for that. Because in, you know, Jota in 35 would have Southampton and West Brom away in 36. But you can always free hit Jota in if you do have the free hit, like myself. So again, there's a bunch of different things you can do. When would you use the triple captain if you still had one? If I had to put my... Depending on what the doubles are. If the doubles... if the doubles are... in 35, and it's Newcastle and Man United are the fixtures for Leicester, I would say Vardy is potentially a good shout there. The only other spot I can see it being good is last day of the season, Salah's like even or like slightly behind on goals with Kane for the Golden Boot. I would triple captain Salah then, because he's at home to Palace, I think. Is it home to Palace? Yeah, home to Palace. The last time they played Palace, they absolutely annihilated them. I think it was like 7-0. They're already at the Emirates? Yeah. 6 p.m. UK time, which is it's currently 6:06. So, yeah. They're probably... Everyone's probably just exercising their vocal cords a little bit, getting a little brisk walk. So, yeah. Final say on Fofana, what's your verdict? I think he's a good pick. Just, you have to run the risk of the fact that... he might get subbed off slightly early just because he's doing, you know, he's doing his fasting. But if it's anything to go by the way Brendan Rodgers said it would, then he is, he'll probably be taken off around the 60-minute mark, maybe. But Fofana's going to want to play. He's a young kid, and he'll want to play. He'll want to help Leicester secure themselves in the Champions League. Especially after all the nonsense that's been going around. Ramadan is now a thing. Yeah. How many minutes do you get based on the time? But it depends on when sundown is in England. So sundown UK. I think it's sundown wherever you are. So sundown's typically around 8 o'clock-ish in the UK. Right? 8:11 to be precise. So if we look at Leicester's next set of fixtures. So this week they play literally at 8 o'clock. So at halftime he can literally go in and just mash a bunch of stuff if he wanted to. So I think he's okay for that one. Mind you, yesterday they started at 8 something, so I think he should be fine. It's just the night before he'll have to just absolutely inhale everything, or get up early. Then Leicester play again. They're all at 8 o'clock, so he should be able to eat something at halftime. I think is how it works. Again, I could be completely wrong. I don't propose to be an expert on this at all, but I know I know that one of the details is sun up to sundown is when you can't when you're not allowed to eat, and then basically you can just eat whatever you want. Or at least something like that. Let's take a look at the goals imminent table while we are here, and funnily enough, Mr. Bruno Fernandes is on there as well. So Jamie Vardy's on there, Bruno Fernandes is on there, Mane is on there. Then we got Richarlison, Sterling, Havertz, Mitrovic, Mount, and Armstrong. In terms of the expected goals, Bruno Fernandes is middle of the table, so 1.27. So basically, this is a table that looks at a player who's due scoring a goal. Minimum of 10 goal attempts with a maximum of 1 goal with a situation where basically they've taken a bunch of shots and they haven't scored as much. So over this time, Bruno Fernandes had 3 big chances missed with 3 big chances total. So he's missed all of them, no goals, 4 shots inside the box, 7 on target, which is why I think that he might have potentially a big hole. The goals imminent table never lies. But also, Jamie Vardy's on there as well. Mind you, Jamie Vardy missed a lot of his big chances in the same game. And I don't think that Jamie Vardy, you know, the whole effective ownership thing, I don't think his effective ownership is going to be over 100%. I don't think Iheanacho is going to be over 100%. I think having him in your team is fine. But I think Bruno Fernandes and Salah could be touching it or over for sure. So then you're losing rank if you don't captain those players. And I feel more inclined to, just because of the amount of money that they cost. But I also think that they could score the most points. I think Bruno Fernandes has been due a big hole. I think Salah's slowly ticking along. But I like Fernandes this week. Actually, while I'm thinking of it, I should probably take a screenshot of my team, because I'm going to go with Fernandes captain. I just have a feeling. Sometimes when you have a gut feeling, you just go with it, you know. Where is Fantasy Premier League? Right. Now we've got the screenshot. -8, so I don't have to play Holding in Vidra. I mean, Vidra's fine, I think. Personally, I think he's gonna do okay. I think he's gonna start. You know, was on the bench last game, but that was obviously a unique scenario. Where Burnley were just playing United, and they were like, well, we can't really go to play two forwards and just lose the midfield battle against United. And they wanted to basically clog up what Bruno Fernandes was doing. I mean, if it helps your team long term, then I think it's fine. So, yeah. But also remember, those -4s should be directed towards potential players that could have double. So if it's towards a Leicester defender, I think it's fine. You know, having Cody and Vidra in the same team, I don't like it. Yeah, I mean, I have them too as well, you know. And if Vidra scores and then, you know, Cody scores as well, then yeah, that could happen, but it's very unlikely. But it is what it is. Like, I have Lingard versus Azpilicueta. I have Cody versus Vidra. You know, it's not ideal, but it is what it is. Just one of those things where you kind of hope that it's 1-1, Vidra scores one, Cody scores the other one. Seen it happen before, so it's the same thing like wishing for a 0-0, like Chelsea versus Brighton. There were people that probably had Sanchez coming off their bench potentially in place of Mendy, who they probably had in their starting lineup. Sanchez comes off, gets a clean sheet, 9 points total. And they get their clean sheet from Alonso or Rudiger or whatever Chelsea defender they had. So definitely can happen. So yeah, could be, it could happen, but I think what's more likely, probably a 1-0 Wolves win, which at the end of the day, if you had both of those players, that's probably on the better side of the spectrum that you could probably expect. Cody keeping a clean sheet and Vidra not scoring. I mean, if Vidra scores, you take the points away from all the Wolves clean sheets, but you gain those points back because you just break even, basically. So Cody loses 4 points, but Vidra gains 4 points. It's, you know, neither here nor there. But it's just a matter of, like, if Chris Wood scored and Vidra wasn't a part of it, then obviously that's bad. Vidya's alright, but I don't expect anything. Yeah, I mean, yeah, neither am I. Like, I'm not expecting Vidya to score. Like, I predicted Wolves to win 1-0 in my predictions in the preview. So, like, I hope that Azpilicueta gets some kind of wacky set-piece goal, but apart from that, I'm not expecting anything from him. Jesse Lingard, you know, against the six. We're not going to call them the big six anymore because there's nothing big about what they did over the last few days. But the six, the greedy six. There we go. I don't expect players when they play against the greedy six, as it were, to do anything, unless it's like you know, like Leeds last week. If Rafinha had played versus Liverpool, I would have been like, I can expect Rafinha to get something because he's that good. But he's cheap. Not really going to expect too much. But if he gets something, I wouldn't be surprised. Whereas like when United play and they play Liverpool next week, Salah, Jota, Fernandes, I don't expect them to get anything against each other. And if they do, they do. Cool. If they don't, well, I was kind of expecting it. Like on average, I'm probably expecting them to all get 3 points and it just be a clean sheet. 0-0 between both of them, so we will see. IG Liverpool getting more defensive woes. I mean, will Phillips be back for the game? Who knows? United, when is he I don't even know if United's even still in Europa League. I don't know if they made a decision on that. In terms of like if those clubs are getting banned from it or not. But if United were to play in Europa League, it would be the first leg would be next week Thursday. So they play Leeds away, Europa League, Liverpool, Europa League again. So they have Liverpool sandwiched in between two fixtures versus Roma. So we will have to see on that one. Think Klopp ruled out Phillips for Newcastle, which is why I will sell. Yeah, but he could be back the next week, but I don't know. Still can't decide. Captain Vardy, Madison, or Salah. Who do you think's gonna get the most points? But you know, excuse me. If you think that if you think Madison's gonna get the most points, captain him. If you think Vardy's gonna get the most points, captain him. If you think Salah's going to get the most points, captain him. Also, Salah's probably going to be 100% effective ownership or higher. So if you do have him in your team and he does well, will he be well over 100% effective ownership? I don't think so. But his stats have shown that he has been taking shots inside the box, which is what you want him to be doing. You want Salah to be scoring inside the box. But Madison, I think, is definitely a risk because, you know, he could just randomly be put on the bench. Vardy, you know, will play. But is that game just the one-off that he had? I don't know. Salah's the safest one of those, I think. With no transfers, I got 11 players. With Phillips, won't take the chance. Yeah, well then, there you go. Think everyone can do great, or everyone can... Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's... At the end of the day, I can look at my team sheet. I can say, oh yeah, Martinez is going to get a clean sheet. He's going to make 1 billion saves because West Brom have been attacking. He'll save a penalty. I can say Azpilicueta is going to whip in 2 assists. He's going to score a header from a free kick. You know, there's many different ways you can see it going. It's like you can see the absolute best possible scenario, and you can also see the worst possible scenarios as well. Like, you know, Vardy could have one of those games where he just doesn't get the ball. You can have a game where Madison's the assist of the assister. Or hits the woodwork twice. You know, you can have a game where Fernandes is like making all the plays happen, creating you know, big chances left, right, and center, and United just don't put the ball in the back of the net. You can have Salah, you know, miss a penalty. Like, it is many different things that can happen. Many of different things. But yeah, and transfers for next week, I don't even know. I just kind of made the transfer off instinct this week and just saw Kane was obviously playing in the Carabao Cup final. May not be ready for that, which means he might not be ready for the following week. If Kane goes down 0.1, which he might, if people see that he didn't play in the Carabao Cup final, and Vardy was going up in price, and I basically couldn't get that 0.1, and I think Vardy has a good fixture this week. It also secures my my 11, as it were, because Masuaku might not start or play, so I have an 11 that should probably start. Vidra comes off the bench, K gets 1 point. Jones comes off the bench, gets 1 point. The rest of them are going to start. For sure. So, transfers next week should be interesting. Because there's some fixtures that look decent. I mean, Spurs, will I want Kane back? But, Leicester have Southampton away. Do I really want Kane's back for Sheffield United, or do I want to hang on to Vardy? Because it's the double. It depends on what we get before or after the deadline. Kane might not even be back for Sheffield United. We don't know. He may re-injure himself if he does play in the Carabao Cup. We'll have to see. Capping Madison, if that goes bad, we can just say I slept through the deadline. Bruno to Son next week, most likely. That's also possible too. I mean, I have Son still. So I would need to do something different than that. Yeah, there's no unless like, and the thing is, would I necessarily want Kane for Sheffield United? I mean, they only scored 1 the last time they played them. New manager, who knows? I mean, but Kane's Kane. But it's like Vardy is playing Southampton. The last time they played Southampton, how well did they do? They won 2-0 at home. Vardy didn't score, but they won 2-0. So I don't know. I don't know. And both teams aren't in Europe, but when's the FA Cup final? FA Cup. The FA Cup final is on the 15th of May. So that is... Okay, so that's after the double game week. Okay, so that's not for a long time away. So we don't have to worry about that. Yeah. Yeah, it's not till after the supposed double game week in 35. But if we can get the news before 34, then potentially some decisions to make. So yeah. And who knows, maybe I might have to get some repairs for the team beforehand. Before even thinking about trying to bring Kane back in. Who knows? I don't know, because Masuaku could be out long term. May other injuries may crop up. I don't know. Chelsea was actually going to play Leicester on May 15th. Anyway, yeah, it's funny how that works out. Captain picks for this game week. Thank you for following, Sam Roshan. I'm not sure if you were there when I said that, but this week I think it's between 4 players, to be honest, or at least these are the front runners. You have Salah, you have Fernandes, you have Iheanacho, and you have Vardy. I think those are the 4 front runners. Tarkowski captain versus, yeah, maybe. We're winning the FA Cup. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. I think it's going to be a classic, just Chelsea, like, complete control, and then Leicester just going to look to hit you on the break. But who knows? If I had Mane, I would captain him. I think this round is a Mane round, have the feeling. It might be. Maybe that 1 goal is what he needed to kind of you know, get himself off the ground. Trent's another one too. I like Trent this week too. But the thing is with Newcastle, they've been a little bit better offensively now. Does that mean that Leicester fold under that and they concede, or does it mean that Liverpool have more of the ball on the break and allows Trent to it makes Trent have to sit back a little bit and be a bit more reserved, or you know, it's weird. I think this week, I think it's just it's a bit more on the riskier side, because like you have Fernandes, you have Salah, you have Iheanacho, you have Vardy, you have, you know, even Madison, like Zach has said. You have so many more captains that are probably a bit more assured in terms of what we're gonna get out of them. Whereas Trent, it's like, are they gonna keep a clean sheet versus Newcastle? I don't know. Last time it was what, 0-0? Maybe. But I would say you're looking for attacking returns from Trent this week. I think Newcastle could potentially score because, again, Phillips being out means Fabinho's in defense, which means that they don't have anyone in midfield. That's like Fabinho or Henderson, basically. So quite close. We beat City. That is all that matters, to be fair. Yeah, that's true. You stopped them from winning the treble, so thank you for that. And the quadruple. Trent captain is 10. I wanted to sell Jota for ASM yesterday. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. But again, ASM is somebody who gets injured very easily. Do you think Mendy will play? Mendy is in Benjamin Mendy, like Ben Dinnery said, or Edouard Mendy? Edouard Mendy, Tuchel said he's playing. So, yeah, Tuchel said Mendy's playing. So, I believe that, so I think Mendy's going to play. Benjamin Mendy equals Chelsea keeper. Yeah. That's a bit of a yikes. That is a bit of a yikes from me. But who knows? Maybe you'll see... after the deadline, Benjamin Mendy has signed a contract to play in goal for Chelsea for a game. I don't know. I mean, shadier deals have been done in the past. I mean, look at the one that was tried to start this week, you know. Man City did retweet it. Yeah, they did. They did. It was quite funny. It was like, this is news to us, at Benjamin Mendy 23 or whatever his at is on Twitter, which is quite funny. Less than 3 minutes before the deadline, so make sure to have your teams all in order, your benches in order. Mind you, most people's benches are going to be, you know, whatever. Some people do the thing where they basically, you know, they do this sort of nonsense. They put the player that's not playing in their team. I'm not going to do that, obviously, because I don't do that. So, yeah. And just the free hit left for us as well, chip-wise, which is... going to be utilized 35 or 36, probably. I was going to save it to potentially the last game of the season, last day of the season, because, you know, things can happen. Yeah, I think it's definitely better suited, especially with these fixtures being moved forward. And who knows what the fans are going to do? Like, these players, having seen the backlash from the fans about the stupid league, as I'm going to call it, they're going to want to go out there and play for them big time. Like, United's probably going to have their best performance at home, and the fans are back in when they play against Fulham in 37. So we will see. -20 this week will be tough to watch. I mean, yeah, yeah, you got to back your team. You make a -20, you make a -20. Let's do it. Us Chelsea fans save football. Yeah. Yeah. I would say that kind of spawned it on a little bit. But there was a big outlash from all fans, really. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see, because the president of Real Madrid, Perez or whatever his name is, the most deluded man in all of Europe right now. He still thinks it's a thing. But basically what we need to do now is push the MPs in the UK and whatnot to put in legislation, which basically means if you want to do any of these erratic changes, you need to come by the fans first, and it ain't gonna happen. So if the Glazers say, "Oh yeah, we want to change the colors of Man United and we want to move them to Tampa Bay," the fans go, "No, no, 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 get out." So, and they'll just keep playing this clip to over and over again.
It's time to go!
10 seconds left, by the way. Make sure your lineups are set. I'm going with Fernandez captain. Zach is going with Madison. I think Leicester could be quite high scoring. I think so can United, and so can Liverpool. But yeah, that should be the deadline. Let's see if the FPL site's gonna break, which it should do. Mind you, it hasn't been breaking right on the. It hasn't been. Oh, there we go. It was a little bit quicker this week. But yeah, let's move over to the big screen here. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you are watching this VOD when it does go over on YouTube, make sure to come join us for the deadline streams that we do over on Twitch, as well as previous streams. I will be back to normal with videos this coming week. Yeah, hopefully everyone has a good game week. Hopefully we get some double game week and blank news before game week 34, because we'll be discussing that as well, probably in a video potentially. And yeah, make sure you do your part to make sure that these owners get out of the clubs. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and until the next one, take care.